We'll do it live.
Okay. No.
We'll do it live. It. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
What is up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Nintendo Talk Live. I am Bobby, the Nintendo Guru, joined today than none other than good friend of mine, Nick Milicia, Next Level Games. What's up, Nick?
How's it going, Bobby?
It is very well. It is very well. Now, I just want to make sure, number one, you're not going to pull no troll antics, because I know that Toby probably messaged you or something, and you guys got some nonsense going on behind the scenes. Everything's going to be on the up and up, right?
Everything's good. I promise.
Okay.
I promise.
Just making sure. The reason why we started the show a little bit early, guys, is because Nick's over here and we're talking, and it's like, I started thinking, I'm like, this is stupid. We're talking, and it's stuff that could be good for the show, and it's the hard part. Normally I don't call people until like 2 minutes before we're ready to go live, but I figured this is your first time doing something, and I didn't want you to be like super nervous. I was like, let me break them in a little, you know.
Yeah.
But
Well, it's been a while. I used to do a podcast, not a podcast. I used to do, I guess it was a podcast years ago, but it was audio. It was audio only.
Yeah, you didn't do video.
Yeah. So
that's all right. We're stepping up into the next level, man. We're taking you to that new world.
How clever of you.
Exactly, like that, right? So for those that, I'm sure there's people hear your name a lot if they watch my stuff. Anything. If we were a Nintendo PlayStation podcast, We the Gamer Cast, that's Sean's thing. But anything within our universe per se, they've heard your name numerous times. Nick Milicia, Next Level Games, but they probably don't know who you are. Let them know. Like, who are you? What do you do? All that good stuff.
Well, like you said, I'm the owner of Next Level Video Games in Blackwood, New Jersey. And just more of a retro store. That's what we do. Collectibles and just old games. And I've been a collector of games for a long time. Probably been playing my whole life, but probably started collecting like around 2000, before all the craziness happened. So pretty happy to have some stuff that I wouldn't want to pay for today. Yeah,
that's definitely true. You know what I mean? Like, prices have gone up drastically. You know what I mean? Like, it's not what it used to be. Definitely, by any stretch. That's always my luck. Anytime I'm like, I'm going to start collecting stuff, it's like, boop, skyrocket. And then I'm like, I'm done with that. I'm going to go to this. And then just as I go to that, it like, because I was saying it the other day, right? I started to collect the first four figures, the Nintendo figures, right?
Right.
There was a time when them things were dirt cheap, right? Then I find out that they partnered up with Sideshow to do some distributing for them. Now all the prices are going through the roof.
Yeah, they were what? Like, some of them were like 130, 150 when they started. Yeah, and now they're all like 500.
Now they're like $500-$600. Like, I was looking today. I was like, oh, they got the Wind Waker one still up. Yeah, and I was like, I'd really like to get that. Dude, it's almost $700. I'm like,
they are huge though, and from collecting.
But they're not as big as you think. Like, I just got the Tanuki Suit Mario, right? Right. And I paid $150 for it. It's only 15 inches.
I saw a Simon Belmont was like massive. I saw it at a friend's house. It must have been like 2 foot tall. It was huge, and I think that one was like $500. I think. Yeah,
potentially.
But
James Johnson also. Patreon extraordinaire. That's the one that Sean always goes, Dr. Doom.
Dr. Doom. Yeah.
He just said hi, and he said, I wish Next Level Games was closer to New York so I can visit. See, that's the mistake you're making, James. This store is well worth the trip down. See, if you told me you were coming down, I would go there as well. We could hang out. You know what I mean? We could, the three of us could chat and talk video. That's the one thing I like. Like, I go there and I'll buy stuff. You know what I mean? Like, I always feel obligated to buy something. I don't really want to buy anything. I just feel like I have to.
No. Well, I pay you money every month, so
that's what it is. It's just I'm just going to be like, here's your money back. You know what I mean? Like, thank you for the loan for the week. Here you go.
That's right.
No, I go up there, but it's always like I go there because I look for things that, like, I've told you this before. Like, this is no shocker. Like, I feel like you are the most reasonably priced place around. And you've told me
Right.
before, like, hey man, I'm here to move stuff. I'm not here to just sit on stuff.
Right.
You know, and that's what it is. So, but my thing is, like, I look at the stuff that you have, so it's worth it for me to come in. But then it always ends up to just talking. We just sit there for, like, me and Miguel will be there for, like, 30, 40 minutes. Just next thing I know, I'm like, all right, we should probably leave. Like, the customers are probably tired of hearing us run our mouth.
Well, you know what it is? I tried to make a store that, like, I wanted to shop at.
Yes.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
like,
got you.
You know, you don't want to go to a place that's like sells dirty games at high prices, and the person working there's you know, that kind of guy.
There's a guy near you. I'm not going to name names. And I don't expect you to because I don't want you to get in trouble. But what you just said is exactly what it is. It's you go in there, stuff super priced, like Nintendo Power issues for like almost $10 a piece, and it's like and look. I'm the guy that paid, I think, $50 the one issue, or $60, $60. But that was a number one issue.
Right.
I expected to pay top dollar for that, and it was pristine, by the way. Like the thing was mint condition. Totally expected to pay that kind of money for. But you're talking about final year Nintendo Power issues for $10, $11, and it's like, come on, guy.
No,
we're not playing this game. Like you're lucky. You shouldn't even be charging cover price for these things, let alone, you know. Like I know what things are valued at, so that I totally get. You know what I mean? And so it is what it is. I'll tell you what, James. You do this. You come to the train station. We'll talk afterwards. We'll get the train station down. You go to the train station. I'll pick you up at the train station. I'll take you to Nick's store, and then I'll take you back. And then it's on a 3-hour trip. For you, it's essentially just an hour, and then 30 minutes. Not even, because you're not that far from the one train station. Hamilton Station. You're not that far from there. So we'll swing down, drop them off. We'll come back up. We'll be good to go. Make a day of it. We'll have a nice little day. We'll, you know, go get some pizza, you know, all that good stuff.
Sounds like fun, actually.
Sounds like fun.
Can I close the store and just take the trip?
No, we're not doing that. You're staying in the store. It'll be what it is. So, yeah, look at it. He's like, that sounds awesome. So, essentially, like, I look at it and I go, like, that's why I like to come in the store. Like, I look at it and I go, like, everything's reasonably priced. I've always said that. Like, and you have a good selection. The one thing that pisses me off about your store, though, is it's such good prices that I'll see something on the Facebook page, and then I'll go to the store, and it's sold out. And then you always yell at me. You're like, just message me, man. I'll just hold it for you.
Told you I would hold it for you.
Yeah, I know. But
only for you, Bobby. You're the only person.
See, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Don't let Miguel hear you say it, because Miguel will get upset. So we'll back up, and we're going to do a little background story of how this worked out. Me and Miguel get it in our minds last summer that we're going to start doing this show where we just drive around to different retro stores. We'll film some footage. We'll go in. We'll show some stuff off, and I think we did 2 episodes or whatever. And the main thing was, it was always just difficult for him and I to get together to do it. You know what I mean? Like, in terms of, like... But he was... I'll give him for the credit. He was researching stores and he was finding stores. But my problem is like, I'm not really into driving all over the place looking at stores. You know what I mean? Like, if I find a place I want to shop at, I just want to shop there. So he took me to the one store and we did a little research. Like, there's Miguel. Speaking of which, Miguel's here.
Oh, Miguel, what's up?
And so, you know, it's more or less like we go in and he's like, I heard you, Nick. You know, he did a fantastic job of like researching all these stores. He found your store, he found a couple other stores, and he would, to his credit, what he would do is like he would drive and go check out stores during the week, while I was at work. And then he'd be like, okay, this one's good, this one's not good, let's go. So then him and I would go. So we went to your store. He had gone there before we got there. And the one thing I love about Miguel, and you can attest to this, he's very not subdued. Like, he's very, like, he'll go up to you and say anything that's in his mind. He doesn't... Sure. So what I do is I'm a little bit more low-key.
Oh, yeah. You are like a little sheep.
Yeah,
like, he walked in and was like, hey, you know, my friend's here. Do you mind if he films? And I'm just like, yeah, sure, why not? And then and then he went out and got you, and I was like, well, why didn't you just come in and ask me?
Because my thing is like, I feel awkward, but he don't care. He just walks every store we've gone into. He just walks up. Yeah, we have the show. We do that, and I'm like, that's why I bring Miguel, because he just. I always feel awkward
Yeah, but you're a very personable guy. So like,
Yeah.
why would you feel awkward about it?
Because I'm still trying to find my way with the whole walking around the camera. It's still like some people are, you know what I mean? Like some people are like,
alright, that's
you
fair.
know what I mean? Like, so it's always like, I always think like, I always forget that like there's other people out there doing this.
Right.
And it's becoming a big thing. And stores look at it like, hey, this is a good thing. But the other thing too is like, I always feel like if I was in a store, I'd be a little nervous. Like, well, are you going to take a shot at me? Like, are you going to... My feeling is I would never take a shot at a store for being overpriced or anything like that. I think that's kind of why the show didn't keep going.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
Because my thing is, like, if I don't like your store, I just won't talk about it. I'd rather not say anything bad about you.
Well, the show stopped because you found the best store in New Jersey. That's what happened.
That's what happened. That's what happened. We hit your store, and then Miguel would yell at me all the time. He's like, "Let's go." I'm like, "I want to go see Nick," and he's like, "Dude, enough. Let's go to another store." And I'm like, "No, yeah, but Nick's got this thing I want to go get," and he's like, oh, "Okay, let's go see Nick," and that's just how it panned out. I think. Last week I asked him to go up, but he had family stuff to do because I've been meaning to come up to the store again.
Sure,
I got to get up there. So what I need to do is I just need to research what you have and then message you and be like, okay, set this aside. Like,
right.
I need this. Like, don't whatever. So what made you decide that you wanted to open a store? Like, where does that come from?
Oh, that's a boring question. You sure you want to go there?
Oh, please. That's
you sure?
Not boring. There's a lot of people.
It's pretty boring.
Well, we'll see. If it's boring, I'll cut you off, like I do with Toby. So it's fine. Don't worry about it.
So, like many people, I went to college, and after I graduated, I realized that what I went to college for was not going to be my career.
What did you go to college for?
I went to college for, well, it's called interactive digital media, but it was a focus on 3D modeling and animation because I wanted to make video games.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I was okay-ish at it, but I was not like, I didn't really grasp the full, what was really needed. I was able to do the basics and I enjoyed myself, but I was never going to be, a game maker, I think.
Yeah.
And then, after that, I kind of dabbled in a few things here and there. I didn't really know what to do. And I actually had friends in Wisconsin that opened a video game store.
Oh, wow.
So I flew out there and, hung out with them for a week and then was like, you know what? I think I want to do this. And then, are you familiar with Digital Press in North Jersey?
No.
So it's a store in North Jersey. It's been around for a while. I used to be a member of his online forum back in the day. So I became friends with him. And then I helped him open his store while I was like preparing to open mine. So kind of got experience that way. But yeah, it pretty much I just tell people it's because I had nothing else to do.
Well, that makes sense. That's
and
why
I like
we do
games.
anything.
I like games and I had nothing else to do with my life. So I opened the store. And it was the biggest mistake I've ever made in my life.
No, please. You would have met me if you wouldn't open the store.
That's true.
Now you can close the store. The highlight of your life has happened.
That's true.
And then there we go. So now you're good.
And I wouldn't have met my good friend Toby. And
That's true.
Toby and I have a lot in common.
Toby.
So
Toby,
as Bobby knows.
Yeah, you guys both like horrible games. Put this away. Put that away. You both like horrible games. You both apparently want to be game designers. So you have a lot in common,
Yes.
So.
But I did work. I actually did. I don't know if this is totally off topic, I guess, but I did work for a game company in New York City for 3 months.
Okay.
As a game tester, and that's hell on earth.
I couldn't be a game tester.
Hell on earth. So if anybody if Sean wants to have me on his podcast and wants to know a detailed story about that, I'll definitely come on. So
you've been watching Sean's show now because it's on YouTube.
Yeah. Well, he listened to me. That's what happened. I told him, you go on YouTube, you know what I mean, and you'll get so many more people watching it, and I'm one of 5 more people. So, but no, Sean's show is great. I mean, Bobby, I love you, and I love your shows, but I like Sean's show also because it's about the games, but it's also about a lot more. It's about the stories of the people.
The games is the hook. It's like a drug. The games is the hook, and then once he hooks you, it goes someplace totally different. Dude, I've said it numerous times. Like there's times where I've listened to the show, because I listen to the show, I don't watch it.
Right.
But there's times that I've listened to the show and I've like, oh, this is a good show. Like this is gaming. Like I like what they're talking about. And then the next week, I'm legit I would be in my office crying because someone is talking about like a child loss or this or that, and I'm just like, it's like just punch you in the gut, and I'm like, oh my god, really?
And I know that, like, you know, I know what you guys do as a form of journalism, you know, and I understand that, like, he does stuff with like We the Nerdy and stuff like that. Yeah. But like his questions that he comes up with, like he could be an actual journalist.
Oh, without a doubt.
He's really, really good, you know, with that stuff. It definitely keeps me entertained. So
my thing is this: like there was a time period where I listened to Howard Stern all the time,
right?
And Howard Stern, if you talk to a lot of people, goes down as probably one of the best interviewers in the history because of the angles and the way he does it.
Right.
Sean is very much like that, and not on purpose. Like he isn't like he copied him. It's just I don't even think he listens to Howard Stern. So it's a matter of like and what I mean by that is like Howard Stern will start hitting you in a direction, and he knows immediately if that's a waste of time or to keep going and to dig deeper. And
right.
Sean's like that. Like Sean, I've listened to Sean. Like someone's answering a question, and he'll almost cut them off to. Like, oh no, wait, like let's hit on that. Like, don't go. Mm-hmm. Like, and that's huge. Like he's picking up the senses to go, and he knows when to push and when to stay back. Like he just knows that he has that nice balance where he knows where to go. The thing that the first time I heard Sean, I was on we had mutual friends that did a podcast. It used to be called Life of Gaming. They don't do it anymore. And
okay.
Sean was a guest on the show, and I was listening one day, and I'm like, this dude is really good. And I'm like, but he was just a guest at the time. It wasn't like he was doing, I didn't listen to his show. So afterwards, he plugs his show, and he mentions that one of the guests, or one of the co-hosts that I'm also, friends with, is like, hey, I was on Sean's show. I was like, well, I'll go listen to that show. So after I listened to the show, I was like, I got to be on this thing. This is really, really good. So I messaged him and I'm like, hey man, I listened to you on Life of Gaming. I really would love to be on your show. Would that be okay? And he's like, yeah man, absolutely. And I went on and, the story is basically, I didn't know this at the time, he was going to shut it down. He was ready to shut the show down.
Right.
And I went on, and there's a moment towards the end where I go, can I just say something? And he's like, what's that? And I basically go on this little ramble about, like, if you're listening, do yourself a favor, reach out to this guy, get on the show. I do this whole big spiel, and I'm thanking him for the show. But he said to me, like, that episode was what he dreamed the shows would be.
Okay.
He just never got it to that point. So when I came on, all of a sudden it woke him up to go, like, no, I can do this. And this guy, who's been doing podcasting for a while and all this, he believes in me, and he thinks that this is a good show. I'm going to keep pushing forward, and it just works. And the thing of it is, like, me hanging with him for an hour plus, because we did the episode for an hour, and then we stuck around for another hour talking.
Right.
We hit it off, and I was like, we just said, like, we need to do something together. We need to do something together. And we couldn't figure out what it was. And it was like months later when finally we got together and we started a podcast, and it turned into If We Ran Nintendo. And it was just like, we just had this chemistry immediately, the two of us, that just like, we just clicked.
Sure.
And it was like, this is nuts, man. It's crazy how we just so in sync, and I feel like, I've said this before, I feel like our live shows have lost a little bit. We're trying to just learn, because it's a new dynamic to the show. So we're trying to learn the way it goes. But I feel like we'll get back on track and do it. Because sometimes it's weird. One episode, we get done and I'm like, my God, that was an awesome episode. And then other weeks, like this past week, I just feel like, it was okay. It wasn't great. I think sometimes what happens is I get caught up in the chat, and it takes me out of my mindset,
Well, I think, maybe it'd be better if you had a like a chat participation like thing in the beginning, and then
Yes.
like just ended it there. You know
And
what I
that's
mean?
what we're
Just
trying to
kinda-
do. We're trying to go like
You know
when we
what I
do
mean?
our shout outs, do
Yeah.
kind of like, hey guys, what's up? And hit the people that are in there and then kind of go a separate direction.
Yeah.
But that's neither here nor there. But I feel like, but also the other thing is as weird as it's going to sound, I feel like the time we're recording is not ideal for us because I feel like we're recording at the end of the day. He's worked
Right.
all day. I've worked all day.
Yeah.
Kind of tired. It's kind of like before we were recording like early in the morning, like
Right.
10 o'clock for me, 8 o'clock for him. Before the day starts, you're kind of fresh. We're drinking our coffee. We're getting prepared for the day. Don't have a whole lot going on for the rest of the day, and it just flows. Now me and Toby are in that time slot that Sean and I are recording, and I feel like our shows have gotten really good, with the Nintendo PlayStation podcast.
Right.
But that's neither here nor there. That's regardless.
Toby changed a lot in the last episode. He evolved into somebody else. I see. You had Joseph Moran. On
Oh,
there,
Joseph
didn't you?
Moran. No, Joseph Moran. That was the episode before. Toby came back.
Oh, was that 2
And,
episodes back? I must
we
have
did
missed the last one.
Yeah, we missed the last one. The last one, Toby made me go back and finish off the PlayStation Classic list. And I was like, I really don't want to do this, Toby. He's like, you're going to do it. I'm like, I don't want to do this topic. This topic is horrible. Just stop. We should not be making a PlayStation 1 Classic. We should not be making a Nintendo 64 Classic.
Well, why not?
Okay. I'm on record for saying this.
Okay.
I don't feel like those graphics hold up. I feel like polygons just...
It depends on the game. That's the thing.
Absolutely. And absolutely.
So,
but I feel like... Here's the thing. When you look at a Nintendo 64 Classic, right? There's not many games on the thing as it is. You know what I mean? It's not like... I feel like, first off, with the SNES Classic, I feel like they cheaped out on it.
Right.
They only did 20 games. And I'm like, no. I feel like the NES Classic, they cheaped out. They should have went deeper with both of them. Charge more.
Yeah, but they don't care. That's the thing. Like
I know they don't
Nintendo
care.
doesn't care about any of this stuff. They it's all marketing. They just care about the quick pop and keep everybody fresh in their mind. Yeah. And that's the whole thing with the people are like, why didn't they make more? It's because all they wanted you to do was to notice them again and then go, oh wait, the Switch is out. Go buy this. You know what I mean? They don't care. The only reason they're releasing more is because people complained.
Yeah. And they want to keep the goodwill going.
Yeah.
They actually turned a corner. So that's what I want to get into with you a little bit. So we've had conversations before. You kind of love the portable gaming side of things. You know what I mean?
Especially, I've always been a fan of Nintendo portables. But even back in the day, I liked stuff like the Atari Lynx and stuff. But I didn't own one. My cousin had one. So, I liked it enough to play it for a little bit.
I was going to say, what the hell is wrong with you, man? Who liked the Atari Lynx?
But, hey, first of all,
it was like 16 feet apart. You had to hold one hand out here and the other one out here. It's kind of like this. It's actually like the size of the Switch now.
It's no Game Boy, but still. But I was always split between handheld and home console, and then the Game Boy Advance came out. Really liked that, and then the DS came out and just changed my life. Yeah. That system, the original DS. I remember waiting in line Toys R Us for it. The day it came out, I think I got 5 games with it, and 3 of them were terrible. But I really liked it. And I think I have 150 games for that system. I would love it to death. And then the 3DS was the next evolution of that.
Yeah.
I obviously don't have as many games for that system. I probably have about 55. But it's still, Nintendo knew what they were doing, while, in my opinion, they were floundering hard with the home consoles.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because, we talked about this before. I was, other than the portable end, I was done with them, home-wise. Yeah. Between the Wii and the Wii U, I was finished. I was like, no, never buying another Nintendo home console. And then, well, that changed.
Well, real quick, before we jump into that, I wanted, because Sean showed up in the chat, and the fact of,
hey, Sean.
The fact of, you basically just put me and Sean to shame with your... I want people to understand, besides the fact, if you can't see, there's a wall of, games behind him. That's his collection. It's a huge wall of games.
That's only one wall, Bobby.
I'm well aware. I'm sure. I'm sure. Just like this is only one wall. Trust me. Well, technically two, but trust me, there's a lot more down here than I let on. What? How many 3DSs do you have? Let's go down this rabbit hole here.
Doing this again? All right.
Yeah, let's do this again because I think people need to hear this.
Okay, so. Well, all right, if we're just talking like regular units, my playable ones, the ones that I upgraded, obviously I had the original and then the XL and then the new Nintendo 3DS.
Yeah.
But other than that, I have 14 limited edition 3DSs.
Good God. Good God.
And then 2 limited edition DSs. I used to have a lot more of those, but I had to sell those to pay bills. So
it happens.
Adult stuff.
Adult stuff. Horribly. That's the stuff that kicks you, man, when you have to do it.
And the thing is, I had one that, like, I swear to God, I was like, why did I sell this? I don't even like Pokemon much at all. I mean, I can appreciate what it does for games, people that like it, but I'm not a huge fan of it.
Yeah.
But there was a Pokemon theme park in Japan called Poke Park.
Okay.
And for some reason, made no sense. Walmart in the U.S. decided to import those DS systems over here. Wow. These Japanese DS systems that were only sold in the park. Walmart somehow brought them over here, just threw a U.S. barcode on the back of it and sold them on their online store.
Get out of here.
And I swear to God, like, they were probably up for, and this was when nobody cared. Yeah. Like, so I bought one and like, I probably sold it for like $200 and I regret it every day because that thing, I never see them.
Yeah, I've never even heard of it. So it's like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So you're a huge gaming fan. You obviously still like Nintendo stuff, but at this point you've left the home console market. What brings you back obviously Switch, but what part of when does that moment hit that you're like, I got to get this thing?
Well, here's the thing. I didn't exactly leave the market. I continued with the market, and that made it worse because I put money out for the Wii and the Wii U, and like both of those systems, there's like 4 or 5 games that I played that I'm like, okay, these are great. But like after that, I was like, no, like I can't deal with this. I couldn't deal with the motion controls. I couldn't deal with the weird interface on the Wii U. Just really bogged down and. Having to play with that tablet, the idea was there, but it wasn't comfortable.
Yeah.
But the Switch, I wasn't going to get one at all. And they showed that announced video, and I was like, okay, like I can see this being a cool thing if it works the way they say it's going to work. But I was still like, like I'll wait until Mario comes out, or maybe 2018. Like I'm in no rush. I have my PS4. I like my PS4.
Yeah.
And we have monthly meetups at the store called the bonus level, where a bunch of collectors come and hang out and stuff like that. And the Switch came out on March 3rd, I think it was. It's a Friday.
Yep.
So March 4th was the bonus level. And no lie, like probably I have about like 8 to 10 regulars that like always come to the bonus level. Every one of those dudes just walked into the store with a Switch. And like, I'm like, all right, well, now I can try one. I literally held the Switch in my hands. I played Zelda for no lie, like 30 seconds and was like, I want this thing.
But at that point, you can't get it, right?
Right. Yeah. At that point, I'm like, oh,
now you're panicking. You're like, I'm screwed, man.
I'm completely screwed. So I literally, I have a friend, Alex, who really awesome dude, really nice. And he has a lot of like connections with people that work at stores and stuff like that. Because he shops a lot, like everywhere, and he's really nice.
Yeah.
He makes friends with everybody.
Yeah.
So I called him up. I'm like, hey man, like, anybody that can get me a Switch? And he got one for me that Monday.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That was, dude. So the funny thing is, like, so I bought. It's people can watch me actually pre-order the Switch. The night of the reveal,
right?
Sean, Toby, and I, we go from watching the event to a live podcast, not a live podcast, but we record afterwards. It's like 4 a.m. for Toby. Sean and I, it's like midnight or whatever.
Right.
Sean's screaming at me and Toby that we're idiots and stuff, and like he's getting that starts the whole riff.
Oh yeah,
I remember that little issue. And
I went back to watch that. That was so important. Yeah, it's an important part of history. You gotta see where the divide is to see where the makeup is. You know what I mean?
Well, the thing of it is like that moment. Seriously, like a lot of people thought we were done. They really did. They thought show's over. Like it got awkward when other podcasts were referencing it. Like I'd be listening to other podcasts and everybody's talking about it. And I'm like, man, this is
Sean's probably like, why are you guys bringing this up again?
No. He's like, you guys were blind. That was a horrible event.
Oh, by the way, real quick, Sean is in the chat, right?
He is in the chat, yes.
Sean, I don't think you were here earlier. I want to be on your show, and now that I'm doing this, and everything's, this is the entry jumping point.
Yes.
But I'm coming on that show, so you better invite me.
He said if you don't bring him on, he's cutting his ties to Patreon. So you gotta. He said done. He said done. So
yes,
you're on.
Excellent.
We'll get you on. We'll get you on. So essentially, I am pre-ordering because I go. My buddy Josue Ponce, Nin Mobile News.
Right.
He messages me and he's like, "Dude, go now!" Like he's blowing my phone up. Amazon, and I'm like, oh my god. So I'm like freaking out, and I run up. Well, actually, Amazon one I just ordered, but he's telling me Best Buy as well because Miguel and I had plans of going to GameStop and just waiting in line. We were both gonna go out at 4:00 in the morning, and I'm also messaging Miguel like, hey man, go here. So he ordered 3 that night. And I ordered 2, but I go upstairs and I come back down. I ordered one from Best Buy. Right. Josue just showed up. Love you, Josue. You know that. And we're sitting there, right? And I'm like, so I order it, and we're getting close to doomsday. Like now, all the money's going to come out of the accounts, and I'm saving money like crazy because I had like $1,000 worth of pre-ordered stuff.
Right.
At launch, and I'm freaking out. I'm like, I'm not going to be able to pay for all this stuff, right? And so my wife goes, well, just cancel one of the Switches. One was for me, one was for her. And I'm like, woman, you are insane. Like, do you not remember it took us 2 years to get a Wii? Do you not remember, like, what that was like? Like
that was hell on earth.
It was nuts, man.
And I got one at launch real quick. I wasn't going to pre-order one of those either. Mm-hmm. Because I wasn't sure about it, and I happened to be driving. Where was I? I was driving like 5-10 minutes away from my house. I went to Target, and just to see what they had on clearance, and there was a GameStop like right there. Yeah. And it was the day that you could line up to pre-order the Wii. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I was like, these lines are gonna be nuts. I was like, let me just drive by and just see if anybody's there. There's like 5 people in line. Yeah. I was like, well, at this point, I might as well stand in line and pre-order one.
Yeah. So I'm like, Tony, I think there's a mistake. I said, Mario Kart's coming, Splatoon's coming. Like because at launch, none of the games she cared about. She's not a big Zelda fan, and she was tied up in Fallout 4 right now at this point when this is all going down.
Well, she didn't know that the best open world game was coming, so that's what it was.
Sadly, Fallout 4 to her is the best open world game. Like that's all she.
Her and Toby's wife, right?
No, Sean's wife.
Oh, Sean's wife.
Oh,
yeah, okay. It was one of the
Chelsea platinumed it first, and then Tony became obsessed with the idea, if Chelsea did it, I can do it. Right. So I'm going to do it. And she went after it and did it. It was crazy.
Did she play the old Fallout games? Like 3 or New Vegas?
Any of them, no.
Yeah, it's funny because I played 3 in New Vegas, and I loved them both to death. Mm-hmm. And I haven't played 4 yet, so she's going to hate me for that. But
she said that she reads that 3 and New Vegas and all that are better than 4, and she wants to go back and play them and stuff, and especially like Tony's the type of person that when she gets into something, dude, she gets into it. Like she dives into all the lore and all that, and like she's telling me, like she's coming to me and telling me like, oh, this character and this character were in the previous games, but they were little kids at the time, and like I'm like, really? And she's like, yeah, and it's like,
you know what she might love? Well, I don't know if she's into the setting, but she might love The Witcher. Oh,
I don't know.
that game is super deep in lore, and it's open world.
Yeah.
There's a lot of side quests and stuff
Yeah.
to do. And everything's.
She might.
The best part is there's no DLC, or at least all of it's free.
I think what makes for her, okay, what makes it an easy jumping in part is that shooting mechanic where they slow everything down.
The VAT system.
Because honestly, it makes it easier for someone that's new to gaming. Because I literally watched her play in the beginning. She wasn't that good. Like, I used to laugh because she would, Nick, I swear to you, she would be on top of someone, shooting them and missing them. And I'm like, and then I watch her hit him in the head with the gun, and they'd stumble back, and she'd shoot like 3 times, missing them every time. They come rushing at her again. She hits them with the gun. They back off, and then she starts hitting them. And I'm like, woman, you are a bad shot. Like, if we ever get broken into, we're dead. We're done. Like, if someone armed Roberts' place and she happens to pull a gun out, I'm done. Like, I might as well just kiss my butt goodbye, man. It is game over. It's bad, man. But with with the VAT system, slows everything down.
Right.
And it makes it a little bit easier. So I think a game like Witcher might be a little off-putting. You know what I mean? Because everything's...
Possibly. Although, to be fair, and I don't even care. I tell everybody this. I play that game on easy, man. That combat in that game is so hard.
Yeah.
In the Witcher.
Yeah.
So putting it on easy isn't too bad. So I think she can handle it. It's whether or not she likes the gameplay. If she's into story, I think it's definitely a nice one to move into. And now that she's, she has some experience playing, because everybody when they first start is going to be terrible at something.
Well, she wants to play Skyrim. Skyrim's coming
That's good.
Skyrim's coming to Switch. She wants to play Skyrim, so that'll be next on the agenda.
Yeah, that works.
She's praying that Fallout comes to Switch because she wants to play that. She wants to play Wolfenstein.
I can
she's starting to get more geared up.
Yeah, I could see one of the older Fallouts coming. I don't know if they're going to bring 4 over.
Yeah, I don't know, man, because 4 wasn't 4 playable on. You know what, man? With Bethesda and what they're doing,
that's
all
true.
bets are off. I didn't think Doom was coming.
Neither did I, and I was hoping
Wolfenstein
for that
too.
I
was too. Yeah.
Oh, I love Wolfenstein. Like the new one. The newest one that isn't out yet. That game was so good. That and the expansion were so excellent.
Yeah. So
much fun.
Yeah.
So I'm super happy that the second one's coming to Switch, because I'm at this point, honestly, I'm not as crazy as you are, but I have 13 physical Switch games, and to me that's like insane.
That's it?
What's it been? How long has it been since Switch out? It's March, so
6 months, give or take, close to 6 months.
I mean, that's insane.
July,
I mean,
October. Yeah, we're 6 months now.
Like I said, no one's going to be you. I mean, I don't know where you're getting this money from, Bobby, but Patreon. Listen, that's what you're using all that Patreon money for.
No, I use Patreon money for other things like buying new logos and stuff like that.
That's a good logo, by the way.
That's a beautiful logo. He's working on one as we speak. He's working on one right now for Nintendo PlayStation.
Nice.
Literally right now, he's been messaging me all night, just throwing ideas at me and stuff.
And Sean, you don't have a draft neck. It's cool. Don't worry about that. I got you.
In real life, he does, but not in that picture. He doesn't. That picture looks fine. It's
I could see what he's talking about in the picture. I mean, I could see it's like
I know,
but
I know.
It's because his head is turned. That's why it's gonna.
The Nintendo PlayStation podcast, Sean says it's already perfect. He doesn't want me to change the logo, but that's because he created the logo, so he's upset that we're changing it. And I'm like, dude, I need to upgrade all the logos across the board and just make them look amazing across the board. He's getting a little salty.
You can use it as an icon.
That's no. So you caused me to do something tonight.
Okay.
I just bought I Am Setsuna.
Yes.
I'm importing it from Japan.
Yes.
Because I want to play it. Well, that's not true. I want the physical copy.
Yes.
I own it already.
You should finally listen to my wisdom that physical is the way to go for everything, Bobby.
I love that game. I haven't beat it, and that's what I want to get into with you. Right. So you said a buddy of yours bought it for you?
Yeah, my friend Joe actually went to Japan for 12 days back in August.
Oh man.
His first time going there. He's really into. Do you know about Project Diva or like Hatsune Miku, like the Vocaloid? It's like a rhythm game with like a blue-haired girl.
Sounds familiar.
He's like really into those games, and they have. It's such like a phenomenon in Japan that they have. Like she's an actual projection, like 3D model. They have concerts that they put on of this 3D model, like singing and dancing and stuff.
Splatoon with the Squid Sisters, they were doing it.
Yeah, exactly. So he actually went out they have like every year they have a huge concert that's super huge over there, and he went out for that. Had a great time, obviously, but he was there for 12 days, and I was like, hey, can you do me one favor? Just find me a copy of I Am Setsuno on Switch, because when that came out on the Switch originally, like maybe a day or two later, they were like, oh, if you buy the physical copy, you could just put it in and it'll play in English. Yeah. And I was like, oh, that's great. And like, I was like, I'll buy it tomorrow. And then tomorrow, every copy's like $80 on eBay.
Yeah.
Like, no, I'm not buying it tomorrow. Like,
but is it like that? If you just pop it in, it'll play? You don't have to get a new Japanese account?
No account or nothing. Just pop it in, just plays right in English.
That's awesome.
The English logo comes up, like the little icon.
Yeah.
That one comes up. Well, is that English on the icon? I don't know if the icon's English, but either way, you just start it and it's
That's fine, yeah. That's awesome. Because I like the game.
Right.
And I truly just love, you know what I mean? Like, for me, and I know you're of the same like-mindedness when this comes, like, you're Final Fantasy, old school Final Fantasy fan. You like that stuff. You like RPGs, you like the Square stuff. So this just, it harkens back to that, like, in a big, bad way. You know what I mean? Like, I can't wait for Lost Sphear, if I'm being honest. And it's making me a little nervous because it didn't do that well in Japan.
Well, yeah, I'm a little worried that they're going to... was that digital only in Japan? Do you know?
It might have been. And that could have been
if that's the case, I don't think we're going to get a physical copy then, which is going to be disappointing to me.
Yeah,
but
I'll still buy it digitally. I don't care. Now, did you try Octopath Traveler?
No, I haven't played the demo. I'm so swamped right now.
Yeah.
It's just games to play, and like I bought what did I buy? I bought Cinemora EX for Switch.
Okay.
And I bought Tiny Barbarian DX.
Okay.
Yeah.
Physical on that one?
Yeah, physical. So I have those were like the first two of like another 12 games physical that I had reserved through the end of the year. So like again, I'm looking like, to me, like 25 games total within the first not even full year of a system is nuts.
Yeah.
Like I am full force on this machine. It does everything they said that it was going to do. Even the online, because they don't know what they're saying. So technically it doesn't do anything. But
wow, that was such a backhanded compliment right there. Dude, everything's thinking, which they can't do anything. So,
but yeah, I'm excited. And then I just posted in your group yesterday that Limited Run finally came out and was like, oh, we finally got approved. So I don't know what I'm going to do, because I know I'm going to be broke as shit. And well, whatever I just said. I don't know about language in your child-friendly show.
What are you doing over here? Now you know what, man? This is ridiculous. I had Marissa Roberto on earlier this week. She said the F
word. Baseball.
Yeah, she said the F word, and then she's like, "Oh, can I say that?" And I'm like, "No, too late now. He already said it." No, it's fine. No, for me, I just bought Fire Emblem Warriors yesterday, so there's another one I got.
I can't do it, Bobby. I can't do it.
I can, man, and I did.
After Hyrule Warriors, I can't deal with my fort is under attack. Please run back through the rest of the map to rescue me.
This one has a nice thing that they do.
Right.
It's a little different. Where before, dude, I'm telling you, man, they took a lot of hints from Fire Emblem. So before you begin the map, you pick and place your characters where you want them to be. So if your party has 5 characters, you go, okay, you're going to go here, you're going to go there, but you move them around the board, and you kind of put them on the map where you want them to be. Then, you just tap the D-pad up and down, and you float through. So if a character is like over here, right, and they're being attacked, and you just flip the switch and you move over to that one, and then you start fighting as that character, and you're safe. You're fine.
And
so
you pre-plan them, so you can say like you're in this fort, like way up there, and whatever else.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, that's a little better.
It's a lot better because I know what you're saying. Like I'd go all the way up to the top of the map, and they never fail. The idiot down at the bottom's dying, and by the time I get halfway down through, he dies, and I can't do anything. Or by the time I did get to him, he was just so banged up. But what I love about the Fire Emblem Warriors game is it is so much like Fire Emblem. And and you could be like, oh, what does that mean? And I'll explain it. They have a lot of voice acting. You know what I mean? Like the cut scenes are spot on with the voice acting and real deep. I love it. But then they do this thing like when you're playing Fire Emblem, like they'll do a cut scene and then they'll pull back where you're just talking to a character and they have the image of the characters on each side of the screen. Okay. They do that. But it's all still voice acted throughout the whole thing. So it's like this character talks and he's lit up and everybody's kind of like a lighter color, but he's the dark color because he's talking. And then this one pops up and it's like just the little things, the intricacies that they do to it is just really good. I'm sold, man. I played about an hour and a half last night. I love it. I'm gonna play some more after we get done here.
You know what would have made a better game though, Bobby? I think if they, say they let you run around with 3 team members, and they all had different weapons. Yeah. And you just run through the level and you fight mobs of enemies, but you have to like switch your characters to be like the weapon wheel. If you're coming against guys with like, well, you can do that then.
Yes, that's what happens. Okay. Because like I had a character that had a sword, right? Okay. And there was a character I was going up against, like the boss for that area. Like for that fort area, had a spear. And the weapon wheel came up and said, like, he's going to be stronger than you. You can still go at him, but you might not win.
Oh, maybe they got me then. I don't know.
I'm telling you, they made some nice changes compared to Zelda.
You might have convinced me, Bobby. You might have convinced me.
I'm telling you, man. Check it out. You might like it. Seriously.
If I didn't have a million games coming out in
That's the thing. Honestly, if you got so much to play, I don't see anything wrong.
Well, at this point, like why would you, I understand like Nintendo wants to release, one game a month, but like who's buying this game right now? It just came out. What, yesterday or 2 days ago?
Yesterday.
Who's buying this when Mario comes out in like a week?
Well, that's the thing. I feel like I love that they're doing a game a month. I'm on board for that. Like, to me, that's what they need to do. Because here's the thing. There's somebody out there that doesn't like Mario. I don't know who it is, but there's somebody.
Well, I actually have a couple customers like that, but yes, that's true.
So there's somebody out there that doesn't like Mario, and it's like, because old Nintendo, on the Wii U, you would have never got Fire Emblem Warriors, right? You would have never got Mario Rabbids. So now you're talking 3 months. And now, okay, here comes a Mario game, and I don't care about that. So now, what's it, another 2 months before I get a game?
Star Fox Zero 2, you know what I mean? Something like that.
Yeah. So I totally get why they're doing it, and I'm fine with it. Like, I'm the idiot Nintendo fan, and Miguel will tell you, I buy everything. I buy everything that comes out. I love it all. It's just, you know what I mean? Like, I'm a fan of Nintendo franchises. There's very few franchises that Nintendo has that I go, don't care. Like, I bought ARMS. I gave ARMS a try.
I bought ARMS. I think I liked ARMS better than you did.
Yeah, I definitely did.
I was hyping that game up. So.
Yeah, I liked it. I liked it when it first came out, but when Sean and I were playing, we said pretty early off, like it didn't put its hooks in. Like, when Splatoon, the first Splatoon, when we did the global test fire, I wanted more when I got done the first test fire. When I did the first global test punch here, I didn't have that desire to go back right away. Yeah. So I knew there was a problem.
ARMS is like the best casual game. Just pick up and play a couple matches and then put it back down. Yeah. I think I mean, with that being said, I've only put about 5 hours into it, but that's because the matches are so quick. So I feel like that's enough time to really get enjoyment out of it. But you know me, I haven't played Splatoon ever. So I don't really know. I think
never.
Never
Not
played.
even Splatoon 2.
Nope.
Oh my god! Next time I come up, you're gonna play it. You got Wi-Fi in the store?
I do.
Okay, you're gonna give me the code. I'm gonna put it in, and then you're gonna play some Splatoon 2. At least one match. You gotta play at least one match.
Yeah.
It is so good.
You know what it is? I don't have a lot of time. Well, I have plenty of time to play. I don't have a lot of like online time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's tough to play a game that's essentially online only. I mean, I know they have a single player, but
3-minute matches.
yeah,
That's all you need is 3 minutes.
yeah. But then I got to talk to people. Oh wait,
You don't. You don't have to. You can't. You're not allowed to. Yeah. So I bought Fire Emblem Warriors. I bought Judge.
Judge.
Yes, it's a digital. You wouldn't buy it because it's a digital only game. It's a top-down twin stick shooter.
Okay.
Man, that game is good. Yeah. Like last night, Sean and I got on a Skype call. He was at Costco and running around Costco. So me and him got into a conversation. We're talking, and I'm playing Judge, and I'm like, "Dude, Sean, this is so good. This is so good." He's like, "I've never even heard of it," and I'm like, "I didn't either." I was doing the podcast, Nintendo PlayStation with Patrick and Joe, and Joe brought it up because Joe is worse than me. You think I'm bad? This kid has like almost 80 games, like 60, 70 games. Like it's insane on his Switch. Like he flips through and it's like flip, 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 and I'm like, holy crap, dude!
Right.
So he was like, "Oh, I gotta buy Judge." I'm like, "What's Judge?" And he's like, "Here it is." And I was like, "Oh my god, this game looks amazing." So I'm now this Sin Mora X, is it any good?
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's hard. It's hard as nails. Yeah, but it's good. I mean, it's an old school shoot 'em up. So I mean, those games are always going to be tough. Yeah. This game gives you a little bit of leniency. The one weird thing about it is that it's like time based. It's like a timer, and when there's a timer that's counting down at the top of the screen, and when you kill enemies, you get more time. But if your time runs out, you die. Like you're done. Yeah. And if you get hit, you lose a little bit of time. But it's not too bad. I mean, I've only gotten to like maybe the third world. It's definitely challenging, but it's fun. It's well worth the. I lucked out. I pre-ordered it on Amazon when they had it listed at $20 as opposed to the $30 that it retails for.
That's not bad. That's what's held me off because I'm like, man, I don't know if I want to pay $30 for something.
Yeah,
I mean, I've never played before.
I hate to be the guy that's like, don't pay, because I want to see more and more games come out. So I hate to be the guy that's like saying like, oh, don't pay full price. But if you can get it for about $20, I said it's definitely worth it.
Yeah.
I did pre-order. I pre-ordered the physical copy of Monster World from Japan.
What's Monster World?
Monster Lair, Monster World.
Oh no!
Wonder Boy. Wonder Boy, right?
Wonder Boy.
Yeah. Is it Monster Lair though? Wonder Boy and Monster Lair or something?
Something like that.
One of the two. Yeah. So there's a physical copy on PlayAsia, and nice. So I pre-ordered that. It's gonna be the same thing. You just pop it in, and it should work. Just English.
I bought that. I bought it on digital. That's a tough game, man. You know what? That shows you what old school gaming is all about.
Yeah.
There's no checkpoints in the middle.
And that game's like interesting because it's, from what I've been told, it's literally the original Sega Master System game, just covered with a coat of paint, so you can just like go back and forth.
Flip between the two.
Yeah, but they didn't change the game at all. Apparently,
no. But that's what I'm saying. Like you die, you go all the way back to the beginning of the level, and it's like, holy crap! Like that's what. You know what, though? But that's what we grew up on. I feel like, and I'm not taking a knock at kids today, but I feel like they don't have an idea of what games used to be like. Like, I'm sorry, man. Some of these games that we used to play back in the day, Ghosts and Goblins, please. Come on now.
That game can go die in a fire. That game is so hard. So hard.
It is hard. It is very hard. They did tweak some things. They removed the weird stone mechanics, but I feel like overall they didn't really change much to it.
Yeah, I mean they probably had to do something because I'm sure there's bugs and just obviously back in the day there's going to be some sort of gameplay mechanics that just don't really work very well. But
so what else do you have pre-order beyond? I mean, you obviously have Mario.
Yeah, I have Mario. I have L.A. Noir,
Oh yeah.
which I loved on the 360.
Yeah.
That game I bought. I bought that day one, full price on 360. Played all the way through, all through the DLC. Absolutely adore that game. I know it has its faults, but
Yeah.
what they did right was enough to make it a really good game in my eyes.
Yeah.
And the minute I heard they were bringing it to Switch, I was like, well, I don't like to double dip for like full price,
Yeah.
but the fact that they're bringing it over and the fact that if I support it, it could mean that they're going to bring more. I was like, I have to get that. So I'm getting that Mario, Doom, which I'm excited is coming out in November now.
Yeah, man.
Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
Yep.
And Snipper Clips, the physical copy of Snipper Clips. And Axiom Verge.
Okay.
I haven't played that yet, so I'm excited for that. And there's one more. I think there's one more Nicholas title. I think that's coming out.
It'll do too.
It'll do too.
That's a good game. That's a really good game, man. That game is phenomenal. Really is solid. It's probably to me the closest top-down Zelda game you're gonna get, and it's so adorable, man. It's basically a young girl who imagines that she's on this island and in this world, and it's really just her imagination. Like you'll go and you'll see like temples with like mattresses. Like that, nice. So you realize like, you see like kids with helmets on and stuff, and it's like it's all in her mind. Everything's in her mind and stuff. It's really good, man. I think it's great.
Speaking of cute Zelda games, I really want to try that elephant game that's coming out. You don't like that?
My thing with this is like I don't like the fact that I have to use the Joy-Cons. Like,
what do you mean?
The Pro Controller don't work on it.
Oh, really?
Like they have to fix it. They got to patch it. I started to mess with it a little bit. Is what you're talking about. And,
the game's out already.
The game's out already.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Game came out. I tinkered with it a little bit. I got so much other stuff I'm playing, so I didn't really put a lot of time. I do want to put more time into it though before I make a full judgment and say it's bad or good or whatever. My mind was like, hey man, I want this thing, but you know what? I'm going to wait until it hits.
Sure.
Pro Controller, and I can actually play it the way I want to play it. I'm not knocking the Joy-Cons.
Right.
However, my issue with the Joy-Cons are that I feel like the sticks are just too flimsy. They're a little too loosey goosey. Like they're not tight. Like on the Pro Controller, they're big meaty sticks, and I like them better.
Well, they have a different range of motion too. So
yeah.
I mean, they're not as you can't extend as far on them, so it feels a little different. But it depends. I don't know. There's a lot of games. The funny thing is, like, I play this thing more portable than anything. I mean, I played at work. You played at work, I know, during your lunch. But if I have downtime at work, I'll just pop out the Switch and play that. But occasionally, I'll bring it home and play it here. I was playing, like, I probably played about half and half with Setsuna. I played most of it here, but half and half there. And then Zelda, I played almost all that portable.
Yeah.
Which amazed me because I thought I was like, I'd probably play that on TV only, but I don't know. But there's a lot of digital games that I want to play. Mm-hmm. I'm starting to warm up to it a little bit. I know I've been against it, and I'm still not really. I want physical copies of games.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And the thing is that like companies like Nicholas and the fact that Limited Run is now going to start doing games, I feel like I don't need to jump on these games because I'm worried. I don't want to have to pay.
Yeah.
$40 for a $20 game. You know what I mean? I'd rather just buy it once.
And if I pay $40, I like the fact I'm getting a cartridge, I'm getting instruction booklets and all that stuff. Like, I was talking to Jules about this, because I said to him, like, I know that he had done some stuff with Limited Run in the past. Yeah. And I was like, so how does the booklet come about? Like, how's the instruction booklet come about? And he's like, that's the developer's choice. They'll make a booklet if you want. Like, you got to do the work for it and stuff. And he's like, but that's basically the developers. And I love, if that's the case, which he's telling me it is, I love the fact that the developers are like, yeah, man, we want to do this. Right. I like that, man. It's nice that they're doing that.
Yeah, Jules better not let me down though. I want a physical copy of that game. I've been bugging him on Twitter like crazy.
On which one? On Mutant Mudds?
Yeah, Mutant Mudds Collection. Because I bought the first one on 3DS and adored that game. I thought, like, that game, people knock the Virtual Boy, man. I know they do. But if you sit down and, like, if you're able to stomach, the red and the black, that's what makes people sick. It's not really the 3D. It's just the red and the black. But if you actually are able to play the Virtual Boy, I mean, there's only like 13 games for that system, but 10 of them are good games.
Yeah.
And if you play a game like Wario Land, it has like almost identical 3D to Mutant Mudds.
That's what he says he pulled it from.
Yeah.
He told Sean and I, oh God, I hope he said this on the air. I think he did. But he told us that...
Breaking news right here, everybody.
He told us that he actually went to Nintendo to make a Wario Land. Like,
oh, wow.
A throwback. And they turned it down, and that's why when you play Mutant Mudds, I believe it's definitely with Super Challenge. There's 2 like hidden worlds, and one is red and black. The level's all red and black, and the other one's in the green, in the green and gray. Yep. It's awesome. It's awesome.
Yeah. He did such a phenomenal job with that game, and he doesn't get the credit he deserves for those games. Yeah. But I never played Super Challenge because
Super Challenge is hard.
At the time, I was playing plenty of other things on 3DS, and then the Wii U, I was never going to buy it on there. But now that I have a second opportunity to buy it, I really want a physical copy. So I know it's tough because he's by himself. Well, he's got his little team, but he doesn't. It's not like a big publisher is going to publish this game. So, but if he can team up a limited run again, that'd be great. At least to get it. And there's other options. I mean, hey, I know Nicholas is always looking for stuff to they were posting on Twitter saying like, hey, anybody know of any other indie games that they want to see?
Yeah.
So he should contact them because I would love to see. I mean, I bought the limited run Mudds games, and but I haven't played them yet.
Yeah.
And I bought Zeo Drifter on the physical copy of that. If he can hook up with Nicholas and give me a Switch copy, I will buy that again. I'll pay $40 for it. I'll say it right here on the air. $40 for that collection I will pay. For a physical.
I just want to recognize a couple people in the chat real quick. Kevin Craig, he's basically happy with your praise of the Virtual Boy. He says,
that's my boy, Kevin.
Is it? He said he has them all. He says he has all the games, all that stuff.
Kevin will give you a run for your money with physical Switch games, my friend.
Will he?
And digital.
I don't have a lot of physical games.
Well,
I have
it doesn't matter.
Digital.
Let's go with digital, man. He's got a complete 3DS collection.
A complete 3DS collection.
Complete 3DS collection minus one game that's impossible to find.
What is it?
FIFA 14. Believe it or not.
I have it.
You sure?
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no, okay.
I was trying to get y'all like...
He'll find you.
Yeah, he'll be like, next thing I know, my house is torn apart. Like, what the hell happened, man? Big sign, Kevin was here. Mr. Badbit, your boy here, these guys are all like flipping out in the chat. Joseph Moran, Mr. Badbit in the house, what is up? And someone else just popped in. RPG, what is up? I think that's all. That was it. So yeah, I my collection of Switch isn't. I think I'm 50-50 with physical, digital. Right. I have well, I can tell you now. I have.
I don't even know. I don't know why.
I have
like,
9.
Look, I can understand. You wanting to support the indie titles on the eShop and stuff like that. I don't know why in the heck you would go digital on something that came out physical. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Okay, so what it boils down to for me is this.
Okay.
Just the ability to have the thing and carry less cartridges. That's all it is.
Yeah, but those cases come with plenty of spots. I mean, you have the same case I do, I think. Well, I have. Yeah. There's 2 of those in your case, right?
Yeah. I actually have, because I have this one, I have the Zelda one, and I have a Mario Kart one. So I have additional ones.
Right, but you're telling me that at any point you need more than 9 games on hand?
Dude, if I'm going on vacation, yeah. But here's 8. So I have 2 here. These 2 are filled. So there's 8. And then I got this one. I got one more hidden up here. 10. So there's 10 physical games. Plus I have Hyrule or Fire Emblem Warriors in. So that's 11. I have 11.
Yeah. But, I mean, think about it this way. You bought ARMS, right? And you didn't like it.
Yeah.
And you sold it.
Yeah, I sold it.
And what happens if you bought that digitally?
Yeah.
You just be sitting there, just collecting nothing.
I know, but here's the other reason why I typically buy digital. It's because I've been known in the past to go trade stuff in, and then 6 months later go, oh man, I wish I could play that, and I don't have it.
So you have no self-control, is what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay.
That's exactly what I'm saying. I become a whore when it comes to games and needing to sell my games in order to get to the next one. No, I've done that in the past, and it's kicked me. It's hurt me. And
maybe if you didn't spend so much money on rabbit statues, you'd be okay.
Dude, they're nice. There's one right there. There's
I see it.
The peach one. Peach one is there, and I got Luigi. I finished off the collection this week.
Did you get the last one?
Mm-hmm. Last two.
Last two.
So I have all 4 now. But my thing is this: is now. See, okay. So when I was with the 3DS, I went all digital because I didn't want to carry around cartridges at all.
Okay.
All right. When I was playing with the Wii U, I went digital because I was taking full advantage of the digital deluxe program.
Well, there was like 4 good games, so digital was okay, I guess.
Dude,
right?
I got 180 games on my Wii U. Trust me.
That's insane.
I'm telling you.
I know you're.
Let's get realistic. Probably 130, if I'm being honest.
Wow.
And that's between everything. That's virtual console, but that's third party. First
party. Okay. Well, virtual console.
But I'm saying, like, I have
had the number quite a bit.
A little bit, but I have you'd be surprised how many, like Bayonetta 1, Bayonetta 2, Assassin's Creed. Like, I got a whole boatload of games on there that are just insane, So for me, but because what it was Nintendo was giving $5 back for every 50 you spent.
Okay.
So, and games were $50 a pop. For brand new games were 50, 60, depending on the game. So for me, at that time, it just made sense to buy digital because
so you like saving money.
Well, yeah, and retailers weren't giving any break. So I was like, well, you know what? This will keep me from trading them in. I have them all the time. It is what it is. Now, with the Switch, I'm saving a boatload of money by buying from Best Buy.
Yes, so that's what I was going to say. So you're already, So again, why would you buy anything digitally that's available physically?
A lot of the stuff I buy digitally are...
You can't wait, can you? It's just midnight, 12:01. You're like, really got to play this game now.
We've been having a nice evening. Right? Let's not start. Okay. No, the reason why now that I buy digital is, dude, you know this, man. I'm a big proponent of indie gamers, man.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
And I want to, and the thing is like, I want to give them money.
Yeah.
As quickly as possible. Like, honestly, my thing is I don't want to wait. You know what I mean? Game, a Jules Watch'em game, to sit there and go like, oh, Jules, I'm not going to buy Mutant Mudds. I'm going to wait for it to come out. Physically, if you decide to bring it out physically, that sucks, man. This guy just, you know what I mean. So for me, I'd rather give them my money, and for them guys, I will double dip. And here's the reason why: because I look at it, I spent $60 on a game like this, right? And for Pokken Tournament, and I'm like, hey man, if I'm willing to pay $60 on this, if the game is of strong value, like a game like Mutant Mudds. Especially the collection. I'm getting 3 games for 1. I'll give them extra money. I look at games like I bought SteamWorld. Now, Image of Form's a little different. I'm an ambassador with them, so I get free copies of the games.
Yeah.
So when their stuff comes out, anytime I can give them extra money, I do. So when their stuff went physical, I bought both the PlayStation 4 and the Wii U copies of it. Um, when, I will now when Flippin' Death comes out, I will get a free copy from Zoink Games because I'm in their kind of ambassador program as well now.
Yeah.
I will buy those. Like if they come physically, I'll buy the physical copies.
Hold on, real quick. Let me interject.
Yeah.
So you remember when they were having that for Zoink, they were having that design an enemy contest or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't know if you know, I submitted a thing.
I saw you submitted something.
Yeah. I submitted something, Dr. Disco.
Okay.
And you know who won?
Who?
Dr. Disco. But it wasn't my Dr. Disco. It was somebody else's.
No.
Yeah. I mean, now to be fair, it was slightly different than my idea. Do you know what I mean? But I saw like the blog post about the winner, and it said Dr. Disco, and I was lost my mind. I was like, oh my God, I fucking won. So sorry. But and then I started to like scroll down, and like I saw the picture of it and stuff like that. I was like, wait, that's not my design.
That is crazy.
And I was like, oh, damn it.
That's crazy. Oh my God, dude. So for Zoink, I didn't have to do anything to get into their ambassador program. Just because I've been
ask.
No, I didn't even ask. They came to me. They just basically said like, "Hey man, you've been very supportive of us over the past couple of years.
Right.
You've promoted us without us asking you ever. You've always talked highly of our games and stuff.
Sure.
We would like to do something. We'd like to give back a little bit if we can." And I was like, "Yeah, what are you thinking?" And they told me this, and I was like, "Oh my God, dude, this just the greatest thing ever." Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And besides the fact that I'm getting the game for free, I'm in the game. Like, come on, how can you not? You know what I mean? Like, they're gonna have my picture in the game. Like, please sign me up. Absolutely. Yeah. And then with Image of Form, I won a contest to do that, and their contest was submit something social media wise that you think we should do. Okay. And I basically said to them, like, you should do, immediately I jumped on. I was like, you should do a weekly show or whatever you can do where you sit down and you talk to the designers and the people besides you and Brian, besides Julius and Brian. Like, go talk to the developer, talk to the artist, get inside their mind, like, give it behind the scenes of everything you do. And they started that, and it's called the Engine Room. And so I won, and so every game that ever comes out, I get 3 codes.
That game's great, by the way.
Oh, that game is phenomenal, man.
They really
so good.
It's one of the few games where they stay true to the original, but then improve in like every aspect.
Yeah, everything that you had a problem with in the first one, they fixed.
Yeah.
I felt.
But it's funny because they improved the movement of that game so much, and because I've already played the first one, I kind of knew what to do. That the second game kind of flew by so quickly because like I was like flying through the damn dungeons.
Yeah, man. Stuff. It definitely made it easy. Here's the way I viewed Dig 2.
Right.
I viewed it very much like a Mario game in the facts of like, hey man, if I wanna beat this game, I could beat it in 6-7 hours, whatever, 8 hours, 10 hours. But if I really want to go 100% the game, it's going to take me a long time. That's where I'm at now. I haven't 100% that game. I'm probably in the high 80s now.
Right. Yeah.
But man, that game is so good.
I mean, listen, I'm not against people buying digital games. Yeah. Like I personally, it's more like if it's available physical, I would say that's the better bet. Yeah. And I would always choose physical. Yeah. I definitely warmed up to more digital stuff. And I do want to support them. I mean, I did buy Chicken Wiggle on 3DS, because the game's actually really good, and I want to support like Jules.
Yeah.
But I think the biggest problem is, I'm not made of money, and there's a lot of options. If there was, I know this is getting a little sticky, but I think if there was like more demos out there, I was going to say more of like if there was a trial period, that'd be great. But if there's more demos out there, I think that would help a lot.
Yeah.
And no one seems to release demos anymore of games.
Nintendo seems like they're starting to go back that way a little bit. Like Oceanhorn just came out with a demo. There was another one that just had a demo. Octopath Traveler had a demo. So
Yeah.
it feels like they're starting to lean back that way. I think Nintendo's woken up a little bit to be like, hey man, maybe we should start doing some demos, especially with all these games coming out.
Yeah,
It's
and
insane, dude.
I know the companies have no incentive to tell you their future plans.
Yeah.
You know, they want to sell you the digital copy.
Yes.
And then they want you to go like a year from now, a year from then say, "Oh, by the way, it's coming out physically. You should buy it again." You know, they want to be able to make that money, and I understand that as a business person, but you know, personally, when I would rather have a physical copy of a game, you know, I don't want to always have to double dip. I don't mind doing it with certain games, but I don't want to always do it. So a lot of times I'm cautious. You know, especially with limited run. You know, what they were doing with the PS4 and the Vita is crazy. Some of the games I was like, wow, this would have never come out.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And sometimes there were games I didn't even know about, and then I was able to buy it and play them. Yeah. And that's a great thing too, you know, being able to discover things that way. But, you know, I don't know. I just I wish there was a way for developers to appease both sides.
Yeah.
Because there's people that are always going to buy them digitally no matter what. But like there's people like me that want physical copies. So if they can at least say, look, you know, it's not going to be for 6 months, but then we'll do it. You know what I mean? Then I'd be like, okay, I'll wait 6 months and I'll give you an extra $10 to buy it physically.
And but for every one of you, there's 6 people like Miguel. So I'm just kidding. Miguel's not like that. No, but I'm trying to say is like there's for every me that goes and buys everything, there's someone else that's buying like one game and being like, oh, this is all garbage. And you know what I mean? So that's the problem where they're at. They're like, hey, we would love to, we'd like to do this, to appease the guys that are out there like you, but they know that people are just like, no, I get it. I get why they do some of the stuff they do. Some things I don't understand, but some things I get why they're doing what they do.
And again, they might not even have plans. I mean,
They
have enough money to release a game and stay afloat, and then that their company's riding on that game selling.
Well, the other thing too is
they're not worried about physical or digital. They just want to sell the game. So I understand.
The other thing too is that like sometimes they want to do things, but it all hinges on how things are coming about. You know what I mean? Like they're negotiating things on the backside.
Right.
Like if hypothetical, we'll just because we're talking about Jules and stuff, like if Jules
you're just giving away all his secrets tonight.
There's no secrets. I'm just saying hypothetically, if it's Jules, if he was going to say like we're going to put a Chicken Wiggle physical game out, I'm sure he would like to make it a physical game, right? But I think in his mind, he's like, well, I have to negotiate this stuff. So in my mind, I want it to happen, but I also don't want to announce it because what if this plan falls through?
Sure.
So for the indie teams, it's a little different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that, and I think that's where a lot of that comes about. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. You don't have a choice.
Exactly. Because I know that I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Zoink was talking about that at one point. Like they're trying to negotiate something to get Flippin' Death physical,
right?
As well, and they're also trying to do it like day and date physical. But we'll see. We'll see how it all works out.
It's interesting that Nintendo doesn't have a something in place here, because what I would do if I ran Nintendo, but
it's amazing how it just flows off people's tongues so easily. Anyway,
if you've already approved a game for the eShop, right? Obviously, Nintendo wants to have a quality control going on, but they've already approved the game for the eShop, so we know it's a game that they would accept on their system. At that point, once you've qualified for that, they should have a publishing thing in play, like a budget line. You know what I mean? Like kind of like indie selects, as I would call it.
I think Jules told us one time that like they take 40% off the top of every game that gets sold, right?
Right.
So say that's the case, we're going to do 40%. I think that's a little steep, if I'm being honest. But,
even digital, huh? That's
it's a little steep, but
I mean that doesn't surprise me. Nintendo's a little greedy, so
it doesn't surprise me. But if I was Nintendo, like you said, I would go like, "Hey guys, we're going to give you 2 options." First off, if I was running Nintendo, I'd probably do 20-30%, but whatever. That's their world; they play in it.
Sure.
But I would just say like whatever it is, I would double it. You can't go 80% now, though. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, like, if I was saying, like, if I owned Nintendo or if I ran Nintendo and I was like, hey, we're taking 20%, then I would go 40%. We'll do a physical copy for you. Now, in this situation, it's like, well, that's a bit much to go 80%. But I would just be like, hey guys, if you give us 50%,
Right.
we'll publish this game and put it physical to you. You know what I mean? And just go that route. And then at that point, you're taking a risk. You know what I mean? Like, but
Sure.
all the risk is theirs. It's all Nintendo's. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And basically, I would just let Nintendo guide the ship and just be like, hey, we're only going to do, even if they were just to say, like, people put out pre-orders and they're the only copies that hit the streets.
Exactly.
Done.
Well,
That's what Limited Run does.
Well, Limited Run's a little different because it's not so much a pre-order as it's just a free-for-all for like 2,000 copies.
Yeah.
But that's a whole nother can of worms. I'm talking happy about Limited Run with the Switch because they're releasing games with the Switch, but I can give you plenty of dirt on them that I'm not happy with. But it's not that difficult. It's not that difficult with the NES Classic or the Super Nintendo Classic or anything that Nintendo releases. That they have an online shop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They have a presence online.
Yeah.
If they just say, look, we're going to release indie games, indie selects, they're $20 to $5 a piece.
Yeah.
They're only available on our website, and you pre-order them for a month. You put up a pre-order for a month's time to give everybody time to get one, and then just kill it.
Yeah.
And put them out.
Sell what you pre-ordered.
Yep.
Dude, they can make. That would be amazing. I love that idea. Seriously, that would be. I don't know why me and Sean never thought of that. I don't know.
I got to be on every show. That's what it is.
Nick, we're gonna start wrapping it up real quick again, if you don't mind. Let everybody know where they can find you and all that good stuff.
Well, on Twitter it's NL Video Games, which is the same name as my Facebook name for the store page. So, but we only do local stuff at the store. So, sorry if you're gonna find it and then not be able to buy anything. But other than that, I don't really have anything else going on. So, just there.
Yeah. Thank you for coming on. I really we had talked about it in the past. You know what I mean? And we actually talked about getting you on if we were in Nintendo and all that stuff. But like this is a long time
there's still time, Bobby. There's still time.
I know. I'll wait till one day Sean's like, I can't be on. I'll be like, okay, Nick, I need a backup. Let's go. But thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Great talk, man. It was a lot of fun.
Yep.
So, guys, please go follow Nick over at Twitter and all that stuff. Go like his Facebook page. Check out the stuff that hits the stores. Like, it's just awesome. It really is. Go review the store, even if you never bought anything there. Just give it a 5-star review. Tell them how much you love Nick. All that good stuff. Let's get some love over there. So, thank you guys very much for coming out tonight. All the new subs and all that. Oh God, with the Kirby, please, with the Kirby, go away.
Hey, I didn't talk about it, so you should be happy.
I know, thank God. All the new subs that happened today and all that. Thank you guys so much. I love the support. I love everything that is happening and all that. So that is all. Peace out, Preston.